Welcome back to another low-quality coaster list. This time it'll be Intamin wooden coasters, so let's just get crack-a-lackin'. First one that they ever made was American Eagle at Six Flags Great America. It had a pretty big old drop of 147 feet, and it's still the world's tallest racing or dueling coaster. Um, After that drop, it goes into some airtime hills that don't deliver with airtime. And then pictured here is that huge, boring, rough helix. After that helix, there are some small airtime hills that seem to deliver some airtime. And after those hills, it's just the end of the ride, and you don't get to see who wins the race. But it's a kind of long ride, so that's pretty cool. Next up was Pegasus at Efteling, and it was started by Din until they went on strike, and Intamin finished the project. It also was the demise of Din Corporation. They made Mean Streak and some other like Texas Giant, that kind of thing. Yeah, so this is at Efteling. It was pretty much just a kiddie woody, but it was even worse than the kiddie woodies you're thinking of, like Woodstock Express. This is worse than that. This is like the drop was pretty small, as you can see here. After that, there were some small little hills. There was a turn to the brake run section kind of thing, and it was brutal. Like if you watch a point of view of this, ooh, it looked pretty painful. Not gonna lie. Anyway, next up, Jupiter at that Japanese park. Pretty interesting layout. It starts off with a pre-lift into a pretty long pre-lift, not gonna lie. Then there's a lift hill, and it's just this crazy cool looking ride. It's got a lot of airtime hills, especially the ones at the end look like they're gonna deliver some good airtime. And it's a pretty long one coaster. It's the 7th longest in the world, actually. So that's pretty sweet. Next up is White Cyclone at Nagashima. And as you can see here, there's a lot of helixes in this ride, and it isn't the greatest ride. It's probably pretty rough. I'm sure they don't take care of this ride very well. There are a few hills that you can see, but they're probably not going to deliver with much airtime. Maybe. Into those helixes, you might get some decent lateral slams, especially at the end of the ride. But yeah, and this is huge. This is a big woody. It's white. Looks pretty for sure. It's the 3rd longest wooden coaster in the world after the Voyage Beast, so it's the longest woody outside of the US. That's pretty cool. Next up is Aska at Nara Dreamland. This is a really interesting coaster. It was basically Intamin's take on a Cyclone model. It's strange that it was at this park, though. The park was pretty terrible. It was a Disneyland spinoff. Yeah, pretty interesting. But apparently this is like the best Cyclone model ever made. It's basically Viper at Six Flags Great America, but whole lot better. Yeah, if you watch a point of view, you can see it looks very, very smooth. Some great airtime up those hills, and it's probably the greatest non-prefab that Intamin ever made. And who knows, maybe it's better than the prefabs. I don't think it is, but we'll see. Next up, after Aska, they made Regina at Tobu Zoo. This, not as good as the others, I don't think, but probably had some good airtime. But it was certainly rough, that's for sure. And it's still existing today. You can still ride it. It's a big woody, 120 feet tall. And for some reason, the Japanese just love their big old helixes. This one had only one of them, so that's good. And it's also a pretty long ride, not as long as Jupiter, though, so this isn't too bad. Next up is Elf. It's another Kitty Woody. This one's a lot better than Pegasus. It's at Karakata Park, and it's got a pretty similar layout to Woodstock Express, as you can see here, I think Woodstock doesn't have that extra track on the left. I don't know. It's a little different, though. There's certainly some airtime on this ride. I've seen point of views where they say, oh, there's airtime. So that's cool. Yeah. And the first prefab, yes. This is when it gets really, really good. The world's tallest wooden coaster, actually. This is sweet. It's 197 feet tall. The drop, not the largest in the world, though. 159 feet. But there's a crest on hills in this ride, as you can see here. Especially the ones at the end will give you some amazing ejector airtime. And it's probably still a top 10 wooden coaster in the world. But it's not as smooth as the others, as it's been around for 15 years now. Next up is Balder at Leesburg. This thing looks awesome as well. All these prefabs coming up are awesome. The entire layout basically just, starts with the drop, and then there's a hill, and a turn, and a hill, and a turn, and a hill, and it keeps going until it ends. And some of the strongest ejector airtime over each hill. But it's the smallest prefab at just 180 feet tall, which is still a pretty tall prefab. Pretty tall wooden coaster. I mean, next up, El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, the only prefab in North America. Quite a ride. It's the 3rd tallest wooden coaster. Pretty sweet looking. It's got those 2 huge hills in the beginning that just deliver some amazing sustained ejector air. And yeah, basically prefabs are amazing. And as you can see, there's that white wooden coaster that isn't there anymore. There's a hill that this ride goes over. That coaster, El Toro goes over that coaster that used to be there. It's called the Rolling Thunder Hill, and it just delivers with airtime. Strongest ejector airtime ever, apparently. I don't know. I'll also experience it someday. Maybe in the next few years, we'll see. Next up is T Express at Everland. As you can see in this picture, wow, it looks pretty steep, that drop. 77 degrees. Steepest drop on a Woody that's not an RMC. I mean, our RMC Woodies really Woodies. I'd say they're like half and half there. It's a little taller than El Toro, and basically it's a combination of the two. It begins the ride off like El Toro with that nice steep drop into a big old sustained ejector airtime hill. And then, sadly, in a huge loss of pacing, there's a break run into a very baller style ride where it's drop, airtime hill, turn, airtime hill, and all that. Check out a point of view. These things are amazing. I think this is probably the best prefab because it's got that awesome sustained ejector airtime moment, but probably every hill delivers with that. Anyway, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and don't give me hate.